Yeah, lots of candy bars.
Now, I have discussed in previous videos, as Ivana's searching around and finding that I have been stashing candy in her room for months. Part of having 4 kids in a house is you get candy, you run upstairs, you hide it. You don't say a word, even to your significant other, because you want it to be a happy surprise months down the road. Candy everywhere in this room. Suck on it, kids. So, I got 2 magazines in the mail today. I got the 95-96 Hockey News Yearbook. I got the 96-97 Hockey News Yearbook. The only yearbook I don't have, now that I also got this one a couple weeks ago, the yearbook I don't have now is 97-98. This is interesting. This one got some kind of a smudge on the cover too. Look at this. Feel that.
Did I not get it all off? Oh.
No, that's a different magazine.
Is it really?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there's like some kind of a maple syrup monster coming through.
That could be it.
That's probably it. It's that damn squirrel that broke into the van. That's what it is. Damn. Did you get it off?
No, and I don't. It needs something.
I just figured you'd have a cloth, as you normally do.
I do actually. I was just not clever enough to think about it.
I just figured you'd probably have one. Because you're so handy that way. Good job, sweetie. Alright, so we've talked a lot about the Capitals and what the Capitals go through and have gone through and have been through and are going through. And their organizational issues. Read the headline. That's the Detroit Red Wings. This is the 96-97 Hockey News Yearbook. I'm going to go ahead and read this out to you. Focus, camera, focus. All right. After losing the Stanley Cup Final in 1995, the Detroit Red Wings said it would be different in 96. Little did they know at the time the difference would be losing the Western Conference Final instead. First the good, a record 62 wins in the regular season, a second straight President's Trophy, Paul Coffey's 1,000th career assist, Steve Yzerman's 500th goal, Coach Scotty Bowman setting a new mark for games coached. Now the bad. All of those accomplishments amounted to little from a team perspective because the Red Wings failed in the playoffs again. Following the loss, changes, some major, were expected. But Bowman, also in charge of player personnel, stood pat during the rush by teams to sign the top unrestricted free agents. He also maintained his stance that the team's Russian unit could still be successful, led by Sergei Fedorov, who won his second Selke Trophy in 3 seasons. As the summer wore on, yeah, there's chocolate and candy everywhere. I told you, it's everywhere. Yeah, there's tons of it. As the summer wore on, Detroit lost more players than it gained, all by design, Bowman stated. Veteran Mike Ramsey retired, and free agent Mark Bergevin, some irony in there, a Group 5 free agent was signed by the St. Louis Blues. Despite its inability to win the big one, Detroit enters this season as a team to beat with top returning players Yzerman, Fedorov, Chris Osgood, Coffey, Nick Lidstrom, and Vladimir Konstantinov. Candidates for promotion, Anders Eriksson, Kevin Hodson, Jamie Pushor, and Aaron Ward. So it's interesting. It's ironic that Bergevin gets moved out, and of course Bergevin gets talked about a lot in Montreal. Montreal hasn't won a cup in a long time, and it's just interesting. 3 pivotal factors. 1, the playoff boogeyman. For the past 2 seasons, the Wings dazzled in the regular season only to fizzle in the postseason. The Red Wings either have to ease up in the regular season or get more players who have won it all. Maybe they need to do both. See? The Wings. The year they won the Stanley Cup were being talked about as if they could not win the Stanley Cup. Number 2, the defense core. Adding 2 rookies to the mix adds a level of unpredictability, though both have played a substantial amount in the minor league level. Anders Eriksson is big, a strong skater, and skilled puck handler. Jamie Pushor is a stay-at-home defenseman who also can hit and is big. They join Coffey, Lidstrom, Bob Rouse, Konstantinov, and Slava Fedosov. 3, goaltending. Even though he had a spectacular season, Chris Osgood was still considered Mike Vernon's partner in 95-96. This year he will be the undisputed number 1 man, and he'll have to prove he can shoulder the load during the season and in the playoffs. State of goaltending. Vezina Trophy finalist Osgood is number 1, but there's an interesting situation for the backup role. Vernon has 1 year left on his contract, but Adirondack Red Wings goaltender Kevin Hodson cannot be returned to the minors this year without clearing waivers. Either Vernon or Hodson will have to be traded, or Detroit must leave one of them unprotected for the waiver draft. Bowman has said the goalie situation likely won't be addressed until the fall. So Kevin Hodson was viewed as a hot prospect at the time. This is why I don't get excited about goaltending prospects until they've played significant time in the NHL. There's no way to tell who the really good goaltenders are going to be in the NHL. Hodson played 32 games for Adirondack the year before, had an .898 save percentage. I never saw it with him. A lot of people did. You couldn't argue at the time that Hodson wasn't going to make it because Red Wings fans were pretty sure he was. Management was pretty sure he was too. Most pressing need. Though he said it didn't happen because of money involved, Bowman was reportedly keen on acquiring rugged defenseman Marty McSorley last year. And in the playoffs, it was obvious the Wings could have used a physical force on the blue line. This year, they will add Pushor, who is a Rouse type of player. That means the Wings have added a bit of muscle, but likely not enough. So what the Red Wings needed was Marty McSorley to win a Stanley Cup. I want you guys to let that sink in. I want those of you who are old enough to remember Marty McSorley to let that sink in. That this magazine stating if they'd had Marty McSorley, they might have won a Stanley Cup. Marty McSorley might have been what the Red Wings needed to win a cup. Insanity. 3-year playoff history. After losing to the San Jose Sharks in '94, the Red Wings went to the final in '95 and were ousted by Cup champion Colorado Avalanche in the Western Final last year. And in '95, they were swept by the Devils. That was the year that the playoffs followed the lockout-shortened season, and it seemed like players were just in a hurry to get the playoffs over with. Every series was over in 4 or 5 games. There was no big 7-game series. There was no big switches. It was just, we want this over with. You won game 1, take the series. We don't care. It just felt that way anyways. So, yeah. That's Detroit. Did you find more?
Yep.
More candy?
Yep.
Awesome.
This is craziness.
It's awesomeness is what it is. Edmonton's big player to watch, Jason Bond Sr. Big and skilled, must play with more intensity. Played 20 games for the Oilers in '96 before returning to junior. Florida player to watch, Per Gustafson. 11th round pick in '94, figures a crack lineup as rangy, skilled rearguard. Too old for color consideration. Hartford, Merrick Malik is their player to watch. Has progressed slowly but surely past 2 seasons in Springfield. Huge defender, has to work on consistency. LA's player to watch, Jamie Storr. First round pick in '94, goalie of the future for the Kings. Remember what the goalie of the future thing means? Played briefly with Los Angeles, then was solid with Phoenix farm team. Yep. Goalie of the future just means you're not going to make it. It goes back to Kevin Weeks. Montreal, David Wolke, offensive defenseman, played well in 24-game stint with Habs. Excellent passer, likes to take chances, still a rookie. For the Devils, Dennis Peterson. The season in Albany was perfect apprenticeship for the two-way winger. Not a flamboyant scorer, more of a third-liner. For the Islanders, Eric Fichaud was the player to watch. Stop laughing. Outstanding pro debut in Worcester led to mid-season recall. Still a Calder candidate because he didn't play 25 games. With the New York Rangers, player to watch, Peter Ferraro. After 2 seasons apprenticing in minors, time is now for feisty twin to make next step. Time is starting to run out, and it did. And of course, here is my favorite headline in this magazine. Rebuilding, not part of Rangers' vocabulary. There's Wayne Gretzky, and that was their problem. That was entirely their problem. They absolutely refused to do the rebuild when they desperately needed it. And I don't think this magazine has predictions in the midst of the league reviews. They have the Rangers, though, as one of the top 8 teams in the league here. Oh, and they say the Avalanche are going to repeat as Stanley Cup champions. Nope. That went to Detroit. And in the 95-96, they predicted the Devils. That went to Colorado. 94-95, they predicted the Red Wings. That went to the Devils. I have said before, the hockey news predicting who's going to be Stanley Cup champion is a form of a curse. They predicted the Lightning this year. It is a form of a curse. And now that I have all of these hockey news magazines that are in this wonderful high-tech crate that I've got here. See the crate? Oh, isn't she lovely? Isn't she lovely? That's lovely, dear. Okay, I'm going to have to stop now. In this wonderful crate, these are all hockey news yearbooks. All of them. And thankfully, with the ones that I've got, let's see. This is 2009, 2010. The hockey news predicted that the Stanley Cup champions would be the Flyers. Nope. 1983. I don't think this magazine predicts who's going to win the Stanley Cup. I don't think it does. But it might. This magazine, too, actually has articles that are articles that you actually have to sit and read. Not as many pictures as the newer magazines have. Definitely not as many pictures as the new magazines have. But some very interesting reading in here if you're willing to take the time to do it. The interesting one is Hired to be Fired, which is an article on coaching in the NHL in the 1980s. Isn't it nice to know that coaches don't get fired so easily now? Yeah, I think this is predicting the Islanders to be Stanley Cup champs again. Oh yeah, Stanley Cup champs. Islanders. So this is for 83-84. I believe this is for 83. No, it's 83 yearbook. It'll be for 82-83. I can do a quick look here. Yeah, 82-83. So they're right. The Islanders won the Stanley Cup that year. So 1986 yearbook. This has Paul Coffey on the cover. That was back when Coffey was Paul Coffey. He was more of a forward than a defenseman, though. They got a big article in here on Mike Keenan, which is very interesting. Who will be winners and losers? And it shows the Maple Leafs draft pick, Wendell Clark, there. I'm not saying a word, just pointing out Wendell Clark's there when they're talking about winners and losers. You can decide whether you're a winner or a loser. I'm not making that decision. I don't think this one actually predicts the Stanley Cup. Maybe it doesn't. Coffee goes for broke. There's Keenan. Mario Lemieux. Talk about the Oilers. Yeah, I don't see a Stanley Cup champion prediction in that one. 92 yearbook. Hockey pool primer. This is before they started the actual hockey pool book. When they realized, hey, we can make more money by selling 2 yearbooks instead of 1. And then idiots like myself bought both. Even though I don't go to hockey pools. Team reports. They have Chicago as the #1 rated team. They talk about parity. '91 Canada Cup. This doesn't know. I'm pretty sure this one calls for Pittsburgh to repeat as champs. That's usually what they do. This is the last one I'm gonna pull out and take a look at. And I'm gonna look through all these, and I'm gonna find all the things they're right about and all the things that they're wrong about. I'm gonna make a list of where they were very right and where they were very wrong. Because people point out on my channel where I'm right or wrong. And the thing with predicting hockey is this. It's unpredictable. You look at that board, you look at the standings right now, you look at the standings as they were 2 or 3 months ago, and it's unpredictable even from month to month. So when you're predicting at the start of a season who's going to win almost 9, 10 months down the road, it's really tough. Let's see. So this is for 99-2000 yearbook. They're predicting the Wings are going to win it. Nope. They were wrong. That was won by the New Jersey Devils. It's almost impossible to predict a cup winner. And that's from the book that most of us have read most of our lives, and that's talking about myself, I guess. But it's interesting because before the Wings won the cup, well, they just can't win a cup. Clearly. They went to the final, then they lost in the Western Conference final. They're done. That Yzerman kid, he's done. Paul Coffey's reached 1,000 assists. They got Mike Vernon and Chris Osgood in net. They're just done. Osgood's not very good. I don't know why Osgood's not in the Hall of Fame other than because he played for the Detroit Red Wings. Because honestly, his stats are good, his win totals are good, he got a lot of cup rings, and he did play a part in those cup rings as much as people want to hate to say it. But that's the unpopular opinion. So anyways, I will be utilizing these magazines over the coming weeks, the coming months, and I just need to find 97, 98. Don't worry about looking it up on eBay. I've already got some eBay listings I'm watching, right in between the jerseys that I'm watching right now. Somehow, jerseys keep getting added to my watch list on eBay. I think somebody's hacked me, because I wouldn't be watching jerseys because I've promised somebody
because you only had 3 more jerseys for
my
your collection.
My collection is done, so I wouldn't be watching jerseys on eBay. I wouldn't be doing that. That's not me.
Right.
So I would remove them from my watch list, but then the people who have those listings that I'm watching would probably have their feelings hurt. And I don't like hurting people's feelings. I don't like hurting your feelings. You're the viewers, right? So I'm not going to hurt somebody else's feelings in their listing by not watching it. But I just hope I don't accidentally click the add to cart buy now button. That would really suck.
That'd be rough, wouldn't it?
That'd be rough. Next payday, that would be really rough if I did that.
You just had 3 jerseys this past month.
No, I'm saying that if I accidentally clicked on it,
of course,
then it's the internet that caused it.
Right, of course.
The internet put it on my wish list, and then the internet would be the one buying it.
Would that be like if the van accidentally drove to the fabric store and fabric came into the van? Wasn't my fault.
Now you've got it.
The van did it.
Now you're thinking. Now you're thinking. Now you're thinking like a man.
Oh, God. No.
It's finally happened. You're thinking like a man.
No.
Yep.
No, we're not going that far.
Yep.
No.
Pretty soon you're going to want to go out for a brewski. And then you're going to start quoting Letterkenny.
Oh, goodness, Shannon.
Yep. You're going to start telling me to figure it out. And I'm going to be like,
I tell you to figure it out.
See? Letterkenny.
Yeah, but I already say that.
Oh, well, figure it out.
But they say things that people already say.
Yes.
They add their own quotes, but they do say stuff that people actually say.
Well, get yourself sorted.
Uh-huh.
All right. That's it from me for now. I'm not done for tonight, though. There's some other stuff to discuss. I just figured that with new magazines that I got, and just with perspective and the fact that I've got all these years to go through, there's about 30 different yearbooks in here. So I was asked in a previous video about, somebody said that they had a bunch of magazines from the 70s and 80s. I get so many comments now that they just get lost. Would I be interested? Probably. Why are you looking at me like that? Yes.
Probably, I'm sure.
Yeah,
he means yes, of course he'd be interested. Probably, I'm sure.
Of course I'd be interested. Send me a message on the channel. Just privately send me a message on the channel. I will answer it. I don't always answer messages right away on the channel. I've done 2 videos to prove I don't answer them right away. But I would more than likely see that one, because that's one of those things that the internet would make me see. Just like it adds things to my cart, and it makes me buy them.
Oh, dear Lord.
Anyways, and keep hitting that subscribe button, people, because the closer I get to 5,000, the closer I get to not having to monetize videos and being able to do some absolutely really cool things with this channel. So I'm really looking forward to that. That's part of the end goal. And then as a community, we can just keep going upwards and onwards from there. Or onwards and upwards? Which one's right? Onwards and upwards, or upwards and onwards?
Upwards and onwards.
That doesn't sound right, though, because if you just go up and then on, I mean, you should go on first and then up.
No, you have to go up first, then you can go out. If you go onwards, going up, you still get to the same point.
Upwards and onwards it is. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you all again soon.